So we're gonna go get some a quick snack. Here's a typical Chinese neighborhood. What I like about living in Asia in general is all these sort of mixed use buildings. So people live upstairs in these apartments, and then downstairs is all the shops. And here you can, it's really convenient, right? You just get into your slippers, come downstairs. You can pick up your smokes, your milk, your eggs, get some snacks, and go right back up. So it's really convenient, at least coming from Los Angeles, where you have to get in your car, go through the drive-through. It's such a production. That's one thing that you can't not like about living here. So I'm gonna go and get some noodles. This place I came yesterday. It's pretty good, and it's unbelievable for the price you pay here. Kunming, I guess, is still sort of inexpensive, relatively speaking. Yeah. 来个3个肉的细米线细面条。So here you can pick how many meat you want in your noodles. The least expensive is 12 yuan for 2 meat dishes, and then it goes up. So I picked 3, which is 14 yuan, which is less than $2. Do you believe it? 面要多一点吗？好啊，多一点。那你拿哪个？All right, so here's my noodles. That's really big bowl. Very nice. That's a lot of ingredients. So 14 RMB, which is less than $2. All right, I'm gonna enjoy. Okay, so I am at near the center of Kunming, and I guess you could describe this as Old Town. Although old is relative, isn't it? It's sort of like before it's Ursa's old architecture, but all the shops are new. You find this in every major city nowadays, especially tourist cities like Lijiang, Dali. You'll have an old town, but all the shops in there are modern, and it's basically just a walking street for people to shop and enjoy. But there's nothing really original that's different from one to the other. So you can go to the old town in Lijiang and go to the old town in Kunming, go to the old town in Dali, and the shops are like similar. It's not the same. So Kunming is there's a lot of minorities in Kunming and a lot of tea shops. These are all poor tea shops. So some of the minorities, like the Yi minority, they're known for their silverware. So here you'll see sometimes lots of shops that does like silver craft, jewelry, bracelets, earrings, and they're all like handmade. So sometimes you'll see a guy outside the shop just with a little hammer, anvil, and working on a bracelet or something, which is kind of cool. That's the kind of thing that's kind of, you can say it's authentic rather than just sort of commercial. Of course, one of my favorite things in China is to be walking behind a couple of smokers. That's always a good experience in the morning. Ah, fresh squeezed orange juice. And Kunming, of course, is known for a lot of spicy food. Spicy, not just spicy, which is influence from Sichuan, but also what they call a ma. So la ma. It's spicy and numbing, which is a kind of interesting taste. You don't get that anywhere else, really. Other places you get spicy, but you don't get this numbing effect that you do here in Kunming and Yunnan and Sichuan. So the hot pot that you enjoy here, you can be prepared for spiciness, but you also get these peppercorns in there. That's like really numbs the tongue. I mean, it's good, but it takes a bit of getting used to. I certainly didn't like the taste when I first got here, but after a while, you sort of get used to it. Up ahead is like a really interesting building architecture. It's really narrow, gets really narrow down to the end. Also, they banned motorcycles. They banned basically any kind of gas-powered vehicles in the center of the city a while back. So everything here is electric. All these scooters, all the e-bikes, and most of the cars and taxis, they're all electric nowadays. So at least you don't get the level of noise pollution that you do like if you go to Taipei or Bangkok or Vietnam, where you get gas-powered scooters everywhere. Here is a monument. Popular tourist attraction. And this building, it's really interesting. So you get lots of people taking photographs in front of it. Lots of girls doing, I guess, TikTok or photography. So, yeah. Cute little girl. So we'll continue on from here. It's a short walk to Green Lake, which is another interesting area. Green Lake, it's these artificial lakes. It's popular. It's really traditional in most major cities. So the oldest ones, if you go to Beijing, you have Beihai, or go to Hangzhou, you have West Lake. And so these artificial lakes in the center of the city, and you have a park that's built around it. Lots of pagodas, and so here in Kunming you have Green Lake, which is the lake of choice for the locals. Nice coffee shop. All right, we're walking towards Green Lake. So right now, there's like all these purple flowers in bloom. So you have a lot of streets in the city that's just covered in this blue flower. And lots of people come and take photos. Lots of girls doing TikTok. Good times. So here we're getting closer to Green Lake. And if you're coming to China for the first time, you'll have to get used to the idea that pedestrians don't take precedence over cars. So it's lots of times you're playing chicken with the cars to see who gets the right of way. One of the big examples, if you like doing left turns, cars are doing left turns right across the pedestrian walk. So get used to that. At least that's in Kunming. I can't say in Shanghai or Beijing, one of the first tier cities, maybe they're a little more strict in their enforcement of the traffic code. So here, yeah, you see lots of people taking photos of the flowers in bloom. This street up ahead, it leads to the Green Lake Hotel. It's one of the oldest hotels, and it's really sort of like a Kunming institution, I guess. But along the street, along this back street, there's always tons and tons of girls taking photos because of just a really photogenic area, I suppose. But you'll see, like up ahead, you see where they are. I mean, I'll show you what they see, the scene. But this place is always busy. It gets even worse on the weekend. So this is like the most famous photo everyone takes. Not sure why, but it's popular with people. I mean, it is kind of photogenic, I suppose. But yeah. So you have lots of coffee shops. Lots of coffee shops around here. And back there is the big hotel. That's a nice coffee shop. You can sit outside and just people watch. Sometimes in these videos you'll hear people speaking. If you know Mandarin, what they're speaking is Kunming dialect or Yunnan dialect. It's not so bad. I mean, it's a little bit different from, I guess the example I can give is probably like a fairly thick Irish accent compared to standard English, say. The difference between Yunnan dialect and Mandarin Chinese. But after being here several years, I can understand it okay, probably 80%. So this is Green Lake. We have arrived. Cui Hu, Cui, which means jade, but most people call it Green Lake. Guess the color of the jade. It's a pretty big lake in the middle of the city. And you see lots of water lilies, really pretty flowers, lots of seagulls. In the winter, it's well known, these seagulls from Siberia, they, interwinters, they come to Kunming and they all land in the lake. It's quite spectacular. All right, so we'll walk around. Let's see. That's a really nice coffee shop. You can sit in the patio area in the back there and really enjoy the view. There are several parks like this in Kunming. Most Chinese cities will have several parks like this. Big sort of body of water. You can rent these little paddle boats and bring the kids and family on weekends. Let's go inside and see. Not that many people here on a weekday afternoon, so mostly tourists, I think. Just like any city, I guess, the natives are not really visiting on a daily basis. I guess that's true for any city. I mean, I don't know when's the last time I visited Mocha in LA or the Getty Museum or something. But it's really nice atmosphere. So you have all these water lilies here. Looks like a Monet painting. You're allowed to like buy some breadcrumbs to feed the fish and the ducks. The mom's telling her son not to get too close to the water. There's those paddle boats you can rent. There's a lady getting her photo taken. The other thing I find interesting is like Asians love taking selfies, love taking photography. And a lot of times you see like middle-aged ladies like doing all these poses that I think, I mean, the way I think about it, Chinese people are fairly conservative. You know, they're not outgoing like, well, Americans are supposedly the outgoing nationality. I mean, these are all stereotypes, but so you don't, when you say Chinese, you don't say, oh, they're the most expressive and kind of extrovert. But when it comes to taking selfies and photographies, you'll see like in the middle of the street, people doing all these like poses and all these dances, and you see it on TikTok. But it's just like, where is the shyness? Where did they go? So it's kind of interesting dynamic. Here you can get into one of these minority dresses and get photographed for like 20 kwai or something.
It's funny.
These guys have a really interesting job. I think only in China you have this job. Can you guys guess what it is? Basically, he has a little bike. So people who go out late at night, go party, they get a little bit inebriated and they can't drive. So they call this service, and he comes over and he packs like his little bike into the vehicle that the customer's driving, and then he gets in the car, he drives the customer home, and then he gets the little bike out of the car, and and his job is done. So, uniquely Chinese phenomenon, occupation.